Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Broston County, part 28 in this Two Builders, One City series, where I am building the region of Broston County with my good friend Destin. And normally when we start a video and it's sped up footage and all that great stuff, we're looking at Destin's build, but we're not. We will look at what Destin built in just a couple minutes. This is actually me doing some detailing. Destin continues to have issues with his recording software. Yeah, he needs to use something other than Streamlabs. Streamlabs is garbage. It just is. It just is. I'm totally ripping off an idea that he used, by the way, that we'll see in a little bit, in his a park he built in a new little neighborhood that ironically is in the same area that I was planning on building next. So it's kind of nice. I'll just be able to kind of like build next to what he built, and it'll be fun. Though Broston County is experiencing an issue, and we'll talk more about it once we get into my part of the build. This is my part of the build too, but once I get into building, we will talk about what's going on and what it might mean for the series. Granted, the day I'm recording this, we're 6 weeks out. I believe it's 6 weeks out from the release of Cities Skylines 2, so Broston County doesn't have that much longer. Anyway, I'm not planning on continuing either of my Cities Skylines series after Cities Skylines 2 comes out. We'll start a brand new series where I learn how to play the game all over again, because I'm sure there will be many things to get used to. I mean, I've been playing Cities Skylines since it released way back when, so I've had a long time to get used to it. So it'll take a little while to adjust to the other one. But yeah, this is just detailing that needed to be done. I recorded for about an hour, shrunk it down to around 6 minutes, and didn't get very much done. Like, I got this neighborhood that we recently built, and some areas over here by the airport, and then the airline office headquarters, and that's it. An hour that it took to do all this, which is kind of the reason why I think I always skip detailing. Is it's so time consuming. Yeah, it does make, especially over here by the airport, and really once we get to the airline headquarters, makes such a huge difference. But man, the time that is required to do it, which is why I've been saving it for a live stream, but my live stream schedule is so erratic, just due to IRL scheduling stuff, and family obligations and things like that I just don't get to stream nearly as often as I used to. I miss it. I missed 5 days a week streaming. It was a nice way to decompress, and I miss hanging out in chat. I miss getting to play games live. It's just a whole different vibe than it is recording videos for YouTube, because I get that direct feedback, I get the ideas, and I can, engage with chat. And I don't mean, for the sake of engagement type engage. I mean, actually be involved and allow you guys to be involved while live. Sure, you can leave comments and I can fix it in the next video, that type of thing, but there's definitely something to say. There's something to be said for being live. Just watched the dev diary video for the cinematic camera controls, and oh my god, I'm looking forward to that so much. So yeah, this campus goes from looking just like a building plopped down with a couple parking lots to an actual place. I'm really proud of how this area turns out. Now, I know you're not supposed to put a lot of trees by airports because of bird strikes, but this is a video game and bird strikes don't happen. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Though, the airport where I lived in Missouri had a massive forest right off the side of the runway, so I'm not 100% certain all the trees have to go anyway. But yeah, we're just going to spend a little bit of time today building. I'm kind of behind in my production schedule, so I don't have as long as I usually like. Plus, I need to get this back over to Destin, though I may do one more video before sending it to him. not 100% certain yet is because of the production schedule. I don't know that I have time to send it to him and then get it back from him. Not that he's slow to do it. It's just, he works a job and he has other obligations and things like that. So I can't expect him to just drop everything every time I send him a video. But yeah, this looks so much better over here by the airline headquarters. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So I'm going to let this play out and then we will pick it up from here. And here we are back in, and so let's talk about the problem that I encountered. Right now it seems like everything's okay, so maybe it was a one-off. But the first thing I noticed was right over here in the airport. Right here, planes would just stop and never move. They wouldn't despawn either. They just stopped and would back up and back up and back up. I eventually deleted the taxiway from here and rebuilt it over to there. And then after that happened, over here, the same thing started happening. They would come in and stop here and just pile up. Never despawning, just staying there forever. So I had to wind up deleting all of this and rebuilding it to fix that problem. And then once I fixed that, I noticed I had a broken bus stop or bus line, and for some reason, for a line that is over here, it's over in this neighborhood, and it comes into over here. It's a line that circulates here. My bad. Like a stop somewhere down here. The next stop was suddenly in the middle of the highway, which you can't even place bus stops on a highway. And it was just there, and so it was broken. So the buses would come here and stop, and then drive off, and then try to go back over here. But all along the way, they would despawn because they couldn't, they couldn't do anything. So I wound up just deleting that line and rebuilding it. But then the same thing happened over here with what is now this dark blue line. It was a yellowish line, I think. I don't know. Doesn't really matter what colors they are. It too had to stop coming back this direction. I can show you. Coming back this direction. So like this stop here, the next stop was here in the middle of the ocean on this line. Just like right around here somewhere. Which of course a bus, not a boat. And then the next stop being here, but of course the buses would get to here, realize they couldn't get to the ocean and despawn. So they were never getting here and they were never picking people up. So we had thousands of people waiting to ride the bus on those two lines. They were easy to spot, the lines that were having the problems, because it gave the incomplete line little icon. So far, everything's all right. Granted, I've only let it go 20 or so minutes since that last happened after that detailing session. So I don't know that the problem is solved, but that same thing happened in Westwood Reborn way back in the day. Guess you guys struck by lightning, didn't you? And it eventually meant the end of the city. Granted, we had tsunamis, but it would have meant the end of the city anyway, because not only was transportation or mass transit breaking down nonstop, but no commercial buildings were getting deliveries. Like 100% of my commercials suddenly started complaining about no goods to sell, despite the fact we were importing tens and thousands of goods. They were just sitting in warehouses. The trucks would never go from industry at all. They just sat there full. All of the zoned industries we had all complained about not enough buyers for resources, because again, they were never sending out trucks. Like none, ever. They would just sit there at zero forever. And then finally, we had massive death care issues where no hearses were being sent out to pick up the dead people. So the town would have died if it hadn't been for the tsunami. So I'm a little nervous about Broston County, but like I said, it seems like right now it's okay. I still don't know what causes those problems. I haven't hit a node limit. I can still build. I haven't hit a vehicle limit that I know of. I just don't know what causes it. I really, truly don't. So if we jump over here by the university, you can see the new neighborhood that Destin built. And let me pause for just a second. I just needed to check his notes real quick. He didn't build much. He said he just threw together a little town with a park and an elementary school. The school, because we were getting close to capacity problems, which we're still pretty close on education. I have gone through and quote-unquote off-camera. That was weird. That took forever to populate like that. Ooh, makes me nervous. I took care of the university, and I'll show you how I did that in just a second. But high school and elementary, we're still pretty close. 1,000 here, 1,100, and about 2,500 to spare there. So definitely close. But this is a nice little low density residential, some good commercial, little pocket of offices over here, and we even have a hotel or two in the mix, like right there. A budget hotel, which is awesome. So people coming, in from out of town to the offices can have a place to stay. And to get us started, I want to come in here with a collector just to kind of inform me of where we can get a good connection. I'm going to build down towards this end, and I'm just going to run... Actually, I think I'm going to bring that collector in a little farther back, like here. Right before that curve. Yeah, this is where I want it. We're going to just bring that in, and I want to try to figure out how to get a collector from this side over. Is this a... Whoa, jumpy game. Is this a 4-lane? Yeah, good job, Destin. There we go. So we'll be able to have a collector there, because this is back here, definitely arterial. This is kind of an arterial, but really more of a collector. But I'm glad he didn't build on it. But what I want to have over here is a train station. I just don't know where exactly yet, because I really only need it to connect to this line right here, but I need it to be able to go both directions off of that line. Because I want to be able to have people ride the train from here to over to here, come in, and then also have a line that goes from here to just this station. But I'm thinking it'd be kind of cool to have the train station, like, kind of over here by the water a little bit, so that it is... We can maybe make a little plaza down there, a little downtown. So I'm going to bring this way over for now. I'm just going to completely ignore grid concerns and things like that for the time being. And I think I want to go right about there. And then I want the train station to kind of sit like right here. But man, that is really close to that rail. And I don't know that we're going to make it. I really don't. Let's look for a nice station here. I kind of know which one I want to use. I want this one just because it's at that angle, and I think that'll help me. And I want to put it right like that, off to the side. No, actually, I want it more centered on here. Ooh, but now it doesn't want to move. Okay, there we go. Can we center? Please and thank you. There we go. Now I want to work my way out from this, and like I said, I want just something kind of nice over here by our we never did the stock exchange here, but something kind of just nice, nothing big. I don't want to go high density with anything. Oh yeah, I was gonna put the aviation club in, totally forgot. Do we have any parks left? We got Lungs of the City, but I don't think that would really look appropriate here just because of how dense the trees are. I mean, it is a cool park. I really like it, but I don't think it's appropriate right there. But I don't think we have any more unique buildings. So we may just do just parks. And I think I know which one I want to use. I think it'd be kind of cool to have this one mirrored like that. I kind of dig that. And then we can have the road just still come in at our normal boring grid here. And then maybe... Nope, that's not what I wanted. That's cool if that selected the right thing. Okay, so that needs to be 2 tiles longer. I'm okay with that. Or, actually... I think I would rather just go ahead and end it like right here and make that connection with the paths. And then we can do some detailing. Yeah, right. I will, I promise. And all that good stuff. I wish we had a 2U 4-lane road with trees down the middle. That would be kind of nice. What we could do here is maybe eliminate this road down the middle and just make this a loop around. And then have our collector come down here. I do want to make sure that we have good road access here. Yeah, I like that idea. And then we can center these parks up a little bit better in their spaces. So like you're 3 away there. So if I do like that, that leaves us 4 in the middle. And then we can come in and connect these two with a dirt path, just wherever that is. And then we can like bring connections out like here and here, and then like there. And then we can just come in with some trees after the fact and some other props and just make a nice little park here. I think it'll be fine. Also, what we could add in is maybe one of these little parks, like right here. This might work. That actually fits in well. Just a little fountain kind of in the middle of this area. Yeah, I dig that. I dig that a lot. So we will go with that. And then I do want to make this a one-way loop through here. And we're going to make it with something nice looking. And I'll get the directionality fixed in a moment. Okay, that one doesn't want to upgrade because it is attached to the train. And that's fine because we can now come in. Oh, I already had it open. With this, unlock both of those segments. And then come back in here. Turn that off. Come back in here and maybe upgrade them. I know I unlocked those segments, did I not? Boy, it doesn't seem to think so. Oh, they were already unlocked? What? I think it's because that's not part of the asset. But for some reason, I don't know. It just wasn't letting me do the upgrade. But it is now. I don't need to lock those then. Yeah, like those don't need to be locked. That's what needs to be locked, because that's the asset. Okay, cool. So we've got some directionality problems right here fixed. So now it's just a little loop around through there. And that's going to be kind of the edge of the community anyway. So I'm not too terribly concerned about it meeting up. Let's get in a better collector here. And let's also think more about where this town's going to go. Let me get this upgraded. So let's get some water pipes here and under there, and then I will bring them out under the collector. Though I'm not sure just yet how I want to do this road layout. One of the few times I haven't like sat down and played through and planned things out. So I'm going to plan some stuff out and see what we come up with for a road layout. And this is what I've come up with. So we've got a bit of a grid, so we can do a little bit of a downtown with maybe a little bit of density. And then we move into smaller lots out this direction. A little bit of an irregular grid back here, but as we get closer to the water, we move into something a little more organic that was informed by the shoreline. and then just making some random connections throughout there to ensure our block links weren't too terribly large, and that we had some good connectivity. Have a couple different places you can interface with the collector for some connections here. Maybe a few too many down this direction, but I don't foresee that being too much of a problem. I've already got all of my water pipes in, so we just need to look now toward our healthcare and all of that good stuff. I'd kind of like to use the general hospital because it is a larger hospital, but it doesn't take up a ton of space. I think we'll put the parking in the back and we'll kind of center that on there and just let that be its own thing. I know it has whatever. I'm sorry, I don't know what content creator pack that came from. It has Japanese writing on it, but I'm okay with that. It's bigger than a clinic, smaller than our other hospitals, and that's kind of what I want. And then here, I think I'm going to go with the Fire Safety Center from the Heart of Korea pack, and we're just going to, let's see, how many trucks do you have? Only 5. So you're not going to have the greatest coverage. So maybe we make like a little city services corridor over here, and then we think of something else for back here, because we are going to have a bit more retail down here to take advantage of the lovely, lovely views that we have. And then let's just stick with what we're doing here and go with our police safety center. And I'm going to bring that in right there. And then we do need some death care as well. And I think for that, we could use this dude, but I think it might be a little large for our purposes. No, I think that's all right. I think it looks good sitting there off of the square. I think that'll be fine. Plus, it helps preserve our sight lines down that direction a little bit, and that's kind of what I'm going for. So that's not too shabby then. So that gets us some of our basic services over here. I would like a post office, because who doesn't love a post office? I wish there were other post offices, to be honest. I do get a little tired of using the same one over and over again. And I'm going to throw it there, even though I normally throw that on a corner. I think that's fine. So, let's just check our services coverage, because we are going to need a bit more. And that's okay. I was kind of prepared for that. I didn't want to do any of the large capacity stuff. So we'll have, like, another, like, a neighborhood fire station, which they do appear in neighborhoods. So that'll be fine. And I think we'll do, like, the same thing over here, but I think we'll go off of where the grid is. I'm trying to get my coverage balanced out to where we get some coverage down there and some down here. And it looks like right about there is going to be our best bet. And then I want a police station over here as well. I must have built out the financial center at one point to give us access to the banks, because I noticed the other day I had access to the banks. I want this here, but it doesn't want to go there, so we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna just move it and bump it over. Let's turn off snapping, because I want that right there on that corner. Cool. And then I want one more post office over here, because I love me a post office. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have to drag that into place right like that. Cool. So the last thing we need to think about are schools. And yeah, we're within 600 now of our capacity on elementary. I'm going to pop it here in this corner. And then I'm going to give them their playground like here. And this whole corner is going to be just the school. And then we're going to go ahead, even though our capacity isn't really necessary right now, we are going to throw in a lovely little high school there. And we're going to do the basics on this one of just basketball and tennis. And then we're going to come over here, once I remember which buttons to push. Now, one again, community pool, but it doesn't fit. Ooh. Don't have the pool, but the gym. So I want to put that there, because I want the pool. I kind of like putting the pool and the gym together. I think they kind of work together, because then it almost looks like if there were a door there, you could come out to the pool. I know there's a fence and everything, but shh, use your imagination. So what's that now look like for healthcare in this area? We are going to need a clinic over here as well. So let's drop one of those in. Not the best coverage over there and kind of overlapping there, but it'll be all right. And then for death care, you know what? I think I'm going to go with a cemetery out here. It's been a while since we built an actual cemetery. I may do two. Cemeteries are bigger than this. Now we'll just stick with one for now. Cool. You know what? Since we've got this nice little health vibe area down here, let's bring in a sauna as well. Yeah, I dig it. We could even do a yoga garden if I can fit it in. We'll put it right. Cool. So that gets us our services on this side. I think we need another school back here, though. So we're going to do that. We're going to build one more school, and I'm going to put it here. And then, again, we're going to deviate a little bit of where we put the playground. I'm going to bring it in, like, here, and then we'll connect some paths. And then that's all that's going to be in that area. I don't know, we might get some residential in there. But I think for the most part, I'm good with it just being school playground. And I want to bring this path out and right there, and then I probably want to make a connection like here, and then a connection right here. And then we'll bring this right like that. Cool. And that gets us an area we can turn into a park. And we kind of want to do something similar back here. That one already connected there. That one already connected there. I want another connection up this way. And then I should, if I turn it on, you'll get another connection right there. Cool, cool, cool. So that gives us school capacity and everything else. So we don't have any office or industrial demand, so I'm not going to put any of that over here. I am going to do a couple of different things here. A couple different themes, in fact. On this side, I want to come in right here. Kind of want to make this area have its own vibe. So I want I know what it is. It's just I don't know which pack it's in. It's the Modern City Center. So I want to make sure I've got that saved here as well. I mean, it's the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure those are high density buildings. So I'm going to load us up here and see what happens. Yeah, those are the buildings I'm looking for. Cool. And then I want to, and this may seem odd, but we're going to take the zoning back. So we do have 3x3s. Good. Or ones that are 3 tiles. Whoops, I just dezoned something else. So I don't know what. So on this side, I want to do 4. On this side, I want to do 3 out of here. So we can get rid of all of that. And that's now all going to go away. And now that I know they'll fit, I'm going to get rid of them all. And then the other thing we're going to do on top of that district, once I remember how everything works, is come in here and do residential wall-to-wall behind it. I think they'll have a decent quote-unquote synergy because of the 1- and 2-sided nature of it all. Because a lot of these buildings have the flat, plain sides, and these have the flat, plain backs. And I think that'll just give us a nice look right there down the central corridor. So I'm going to let that fill in and see what I think about it when all is said and done. And yeah, as it's growing in, that's pretty much the look I was going for. I didn't realize that these all had backs to them. But you know what? it works. I like that everything is kind of like, the sides. I wish this building had something more on the side of it. If I had Rico, I could like move that one down to there. But I like that it has this nice uniform look across a lot of the building fronts. Like it was kind of all built at once, because it was. My only concern is that this is really, really wide, or really, really like just, I don't know, kind of claustrophobic. So what I'm thinking we could do is, instead of having the trees here, we could go, I mean, it doesn't change much, but, oh, I just took zoning off of all of that. Oh my gosh, let's put it back real quick before these buildings disappear, because I had the zoning tool turned off. There we go, turn the anarchy back off, and real quick zone that back in, and hopefully not lose any of these buildings. I don't know if they'll stay or not. If they go away, it's fine. The demand will pop back. Did we get it in time? Do we save them? Maybe. Looks like we saved most of them. And then down here on this end, oh, game being jumpy. Just at this entrance here, just to kind of span the road here, we're going to throw in one of these large ice cream stands, and then we'll fill this out. Ooh, can I change what? I don't like that design. Like the tiles. It's a bit much. What does the food truck one look like? Is it a little more palatable? Yeah, I can live with that. And then we can just fill in some concrete and add in some seating and things, or maybe even throw in one of the little cafes, possibly. That one's too big. That one can go on that road, even though there's not zoning there. It seems to be happy to be there, so I will take it. And then down here, I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything much in. So here on this side, I'll have to do something a little bit more creative. But there we go. We've got food trucks. We've got all that. We've got our commercial, and it looks like it did indeed survive my dezoning. So that's good. So I just want to do a bit more density. I'm hoping that this commercial doesn't make too much noise. It makes a lot of noise. But I really don't want office over here. So we're just going to have people dealing with the noise. But I do want a bit more density in residential right into here and right up into here. So we do have pretty high demand. And then we're going to taper off, hopefully. I don't know how tall these buildings are going to get, though, is the problem. And I don't want something just like drastic. So what I may do is come in with a strip of commercial here to kind of make the transition for us, because these will still be slightly taller buildings, but they won't be so tall as to cause us any major issues. And then I think over here, instead of doing anything in this space as far as what's the word I'm looking for, as far as retail or anything, I just want a park of some sort. I just don't know what sort. And we do a riding stable. Got a park, don't I here? Nah, I don't think I want sports parks. So maybe just a park with trees, too big. Could do a dog park like here and then just put trees around it. That'll work. So I made a couple changes while I was waiting for things to fill in. I just did not like how tall these buildings were up along this road. I felt it just made our main drag just feel a little too claustrophobic. So they're gone. They could maybe work, as a second row or something like that, but my main focus over here is residential. So that's what we're going for. I did go ahead and add bus lines, one on this side, one on this side, and they both meet up sort of by the train station for the most part. Like the red one stops there, the green one stops right in front of the train station. The trains are doing well. I did have to give the one line a slightly bigger train, but only 300 instead of 240. So I've also have several different districts with some different themes. So we'll have some eco-friendly homes back here, some shopping malls, and just regular houses over here. Over here, we're going to have some mid-century modern, and then over here, we're going to have American suburban. So I want to go ahead and get my zoning in. I do want just a couple more pockets of commercial. We've got this commercial here that's leisure. I almost wondered if maybe we shouldn't do a little bit more leisure right here. So maybe bring that over there, or I could just carve out another little district right here. That way we get some actual, you know, bars, gyms, restaurants, things like that. I think that would be nice to include in this area, especially given its proximity to the water, which I wanted to take advantage of, but I don't know we've got a road close enough to have piers or anything. We might be able to do something with that, though. So we're going to go leisure right there. No tourism specialization or anything like that over here. And I want to leave a little space by these buildings that we have here, just so they don't feel overwhelmed. We don't want our buildings to feel overwhelmed, and we'll cut that off. And we'll cut that off right there, and then resume there. And then we'll just bring a path through on both of those. We turn just grid on. There we go on that side, and there, and then we'll do the same thing right there and right there. Cool. And then we are going to check. Yeah, that is still wall to wall there. This is going to be our mid-century modern. So I just kind of want to keep in mind how close I want my zoning to be. I think I would like my wall to wall to end on this block here. So I'm going to go ahead and extend this side right like that. I can't really remember what is in that. I guess we'll find out. So right here we want, are there low density wall to wall buildings? Apparently so. I want density in all of this. Like all of this dense. And then as we move away from that, we will change gears. So here I want to continue with some retail, and also I want this entire quadrant to be retail. This is going to be some shopping malls type stuff. And then on this side alone, and then right there. No, actually, let's not go waterfront. There we go. Yeah, I'm down with that. That works for me. And then we will just bring this in manually. We should be far enough away from our shoreline. When I placed the roads, I made sure I left room to be able to zone along this road without creating any weird terrain glitches. So we should be fine to zone along there without any issues. It has to be a lovely little corridor for a park right here. He says as he just goes right on through. What I do want to add, I just kind of forgot, and it's just something I generally forget to add to my builds. It's a library. I think we can do with a library right here off of our leisure area. It adds a little bit of entertainment and also some educational opportunities. So let's get all of this zoned in real quick and think about maybe where we're going to want some more commercial as well. And then over here, as we get out of the grid, I just want to see, yeah, as we get out of the grid, so in this first bit, I want to go ahead and do density. But then as we move away from that, I want to change that. And I just realized right here is problematic because none of the homes in this theme are, no, we've got some 4x2s, so, or 2x4s, so we should get some houses here. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully we'll get something nice. And then as we move away, as I was started to say earlier and then just completely lost my train of thought. I want to start doing bigger lots and a little bit of offset. I'm okay with them backing up against each other, but I want big lots with lots of space for each one. So let's bring that one there. So I'm going to go through and get this zoned out, and then after that we will do a quote-unquote time lapse and take a look at what we wind up with. So one thing I'm seeing as we wait is traffic, and it's because we've only got minimal lanes here. So I'm going to go ahead and correct that. I'm going to go 4-lane back, and that'll give us some dedicated turning lanes. But what we can also do to ease this is come into here and make sure that everyone has their own lane. Granted, for our lefts, that will still present a bit of an issue, but not as much. So if they're going straight through, they're only in that lane. If they're turning right, they're only in that lane. There is a node here, so I'll probably want to make sure that stays and that stays. But then they can merge there, and then they have to merge there. And back here, they can pick their lane or pick their lane there. I think that'll be good. And then just to take some of that traffic off of this, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to give Destin some space here. So let's see. His neighborhood is 2,400. If I come out 2,400 this way, that would be like right there. So let's give him half that. Let's give him 1,200. And then over here, I want to bring this out to, you know what, how many did we do here? We did 2,100. I'll give myself 2,100 on this side. And then I am going to use our create curve. Which one is create curve? That one. I'm just going to connect these up. And then that can kind of be the division. He can change the road to whatever he wants. In fact, for now, we'll just kind of like go about halfway. And that way, it's kind of broken up for him. And yeah, that's helping quite a bit with traffic here. Still a little bit of an issue, people turning left. We could signalize that. I think it's going to be fine, though, in the long run. I think it'll work out and be okay. I think we just got to let the traffic clear, and then everything will be fine. So let's go back to our sped up footage, get a nice little view here. And overall, I'm really pleased with how this area has turned out. You may have noticed between a couple of scenes, some trees appeared and then some extra roads appeared. Yeah, I was just doing some work. It just took a while for this to all fill in. Demand's not huge, but look, we actually have a teeny tiny amount of office and industrial demand. So this stuff has started finally filling out. I did add a few offices over here, but only a few, just to kind of look like they're the supporting offices for the industry, and it helped with some of the demand. But this is finally filled out. All this industry that we had, finally, about time. I'm gonna add just a little bit more since we still have some demand. I'm just gonna bring in some right here and right here, and maybe a little bit denser back there, maybe even some back here, just so we meet any lingering demand that we have. Imports, exports, pretty much in a balance. We're importing 12 and exporting 1 for goods. Everything else is being exported for the most part. Traffic looking fantastic. We will head back over to our new area. It's a little red at the intersections, but it's flowing. It's just indicating a lot of cars. As far as the roads, we are going to be filling in this area very soon. I'd really like to get back here, but really the only way in would be with a bridge that comes off of this neighborhood. We've kind of boxed ourselves in to be able to get a bridge over here unless I bring it off of like that. And yeah, there's no collector or anything over here to get a good bridge off of. Maybe there, but then that would destroy a lot of our park, and I don't want to do that. So this area may just remain empty, but we are going to fill in this little bit, and we'll definitely get some here, and I want to get some stuff over here. I'm not sure how much is going to happen over here. That hill that the park's built on is kind of in the way. And of course, I don't think Destin knows what to do with it either, because he built this area a long time ago, and then it's kind of it. He's moved on. He's just left this little 3x2 block thing on its own. But as far as what we've done today, it's built, it's detailed. I really am pleased, and this is kind of what I was hoping for and why I wanted a mid-century modern. We have a gap of 4 here, and a lot of these build nice, big, tall privacy fences. So even though they back up along the collector, they all have a lot of privacy, except for that guy who cheaped out on his fence, and who apparently wants to encourage people to rob his house by just stopping here on the collector and bashing in his glass rear door. But you know, that's his choice. We'll go through and put some trees and things behind some of these houses. Eventually, there were more trees in between some of the houses, but as things developed, they kind of went away. But look, I even detailed our lovely train station park. I kind of dig it. I like it. It's not too much. When the trains come, a lot of people utilize the walkways through here, and it's really cool. But the last thing I want to check are these 2 bus routes that go through here. So we will just find one. There we go. And make sure that we have plenty of capacity. Yeah, we've only got 1 bus on this side that gets anywhere near full. And then we'll do the same over here. We will look for a bus. There's one. And hit line details. And yeah, we're good there. None of these are even half full. So we could probably even get away with taking 2 or 3 buses off the line. It looks like that's going to be our 2 busiest stops. And that one will pick up all of them. And then when we get to the next one, I bet they all get off. And everybody gets picked up from this. I don't think we'll pass anybody by. But I could be wrong. But that gets pretty close to 30. So maybe I won't take down the number of buses. And no, they did not pick everybody up, so not everybody got off. It happens a lot that they'll ride 1 bus stop. Yeah, it's looking good. I dig it. I really do. I think it's one of my better neighborhoods that I've done. And it's because, you know, I didn't do much of a grid, and we also have multiple building styles. Love our shopping district. These usually work really well on a grid, but I think they work really well here on a curved area. And for the most part, residential is all secluded except for right here from the retail on this area. Nice thick canopy of trees to kind of create that area of separation, and I dig it. And I hope you do too. Let me know what you think of it in the comments, but we're going to leave it here for today. So, until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.